and in this Red Gaming Telecom video we're going to be talking about Ryzen, specifically overclocking as well as a bit more performance related stuff, but also focusing a lot on Intel's actual response to it. So that's quite interesting, and we'll get to that in just a second. But first of all, let's talk about Ryzen itself. Now, a lot of you messaged me about this. I'm not joking when I say there were 42 messages waiting for me on Facebook alone. So it's very unfair for me to try and thank one person specifically, so just thank you to all the folks who have messaged me over the past 24 to 48 hours. It means an awful lot to us. Oh, and small aside, I did actually order our Ryzen hardware, and we have been told it will arrive on March the 2nd. Now, for those of you wondering, we have ordered the 1700X as well as the Asus Prime X370 Pro. Yes, I have to confess, just for a second, I was like, crap, can't remember the name for it. But anyway, that has been ordered. And hopefully that shall arrive. It is not a review sample. We are paying for this, so you can expect an unbiased opinion. And as I said, we'll be testing that out with a whole bunch of stuff. We're kind of trying to figure out the cooler at the moment, but the cooler isn't too big of a deal. Oh, and aside thing number 2, I have some plans to start messing around with the format of the video a little bit. I'm probably going to do a little bit of webcam stuff. Not loads, but I know Amy appears quite often in video, so I figured I should probably get my mug on video as well. So I'm probably going to do it, but mostly for like the longer form videos, because I think it's a bit more interesting than just constant gameplay. But we'll try it out. Anyway, I digress. Let's talk about Ryzen. So, when it comes to overclocking, Ryzen has a couple of tricks up its sleeve, the first of which is the overclocking tool that we've discussed previously, known as Ryzen Master, but also the X370 Titanium motherboard has a game boosted knob, and there are 11 different settings for easy overclocking. We can expect 4.4 GHz from Ryzen on Air. Now, obviously, it's quite early to test this up, and they're and essentially they're stages. So basically, the further you turn the knob, the faster it goes. Stage 0 to 1 has quite a differential. It's 3.6 to 4.1, and then after that, you're increasing it by 0.5 gigahertz. So it's 4.2 to 4.25, for example. Do remember there have been multiple reports at this point that Ryzen is competing fairly well at higher clock speeds, especially the 1800X, and even the 1700 does manage to go past the 4 GHz stage. So essentially, you're looking at a nice processor, even though it does have that 65 watts TDP. Another thing that's popped up, this comes courtesy of videocards.com, some of the very first retail Ryzen units have started to appear on Syssoft website, and with that we've started getting scores, which is quite nice. There's only a couple of results thus far, and these include the Asus Crosshair 6 Hero, the Gigabyte X370, and well, another Crosshair 6 Hero. That appears to be a pretty popular motherboard, so we'll see how its little brother, the one that I'm picking, is going to be competing. Now, there are a couple of other small things that I want to point out. From what I can understand, a lot of the overclocking results are from essentially review sample kits. So there might be some cherry-picked silicon going on here. So I would not go into this expecting your, 1700X or what have you to overclock to like 4.4 GHz or 4.6 GHz as a guarantee. So basically, let's wait until we've got a larger sample size. And the second thing is, once again, there's not exactly a great number of benchmarks. So although we are definitely seeing a competitive architecture from AMD, I wouldn't be surprised if in some instances, at the very least, the 6900K, for example, will beat Ryzen. I'm not saying it will, but I wouldn't be surprised if it does. Speaking of Intel, this one is kind of an interesting little return to the past. So, back in 2009, there was a number that Intel did not like very much. It was about 1.4 billion. That was for anti-competitive practices. A couple of websites, people have actually been messaging me this. So a couple of websites have started to report that Intel have been adding pressure to certain reviewers. Now, there haven't been names mentioned, but one website, Semi-Accurate, says, and I quote, Intel PR sent out a last-minute call us before you write email to most of the press, but not Semi-Accurate after hours last night. You can infer that they are suddenly really worried about something, end quote. Another website by the name of PC Games N has also dug through AMD's 10K report, and basically in that report they have said, this is AMD themselves, that Intel's market share, margins and significant financial resources enable it to market its products aggressively, to target our customers and our channel partners with special incentives, and to influence customers who do business with us. These aggressive activities have also resulted in lower unit sales and lower average selling price for many of our products and adversely affected our margins and profitability. So before everyone starts getting pitchforks and poking Intel with it, a couple of things. First of all, this is a lot of hearsay. Despite the fact that Charlie over at Semi-Accurate does claim that members of the press have received this email, I can say that we haven't, but we're not exactly as established as, let's say, Tom's Hardware, Anantech, or what have you, or certainly the more traditional members of the press, which I presume that this is the email that went out to, rather than, let's say, YouTubers, but I'm making a presumption on that. It is worth noting that some members of the press have already refuted this and said they haven't personally received anything. However, just because they haven't received it doesn't mean much. Now, obviously, what this could possibly mean is that if you don't play by Intel's rules and you say, my god, you know, Ryzen 7 ruffle stomps Intel, ha ha ha, and you did that as a member of the press, Intel could be a little pissed at you as a reviewer and basically take you off the list of sending you hardware. So in short, let's say, you know, Coffee Lake comes out in 6 months time or whatever their review cycle is going to be, and you're a reviewer for one of these websites, or the entire website gets blacklisted, you're going to then have to mosey out and buy those samples. Worse, you're going to be unable to attend press events. In other words, you're not going to be extended an invitation to go to those press events. At least this is how it sounds with this threat. Now, obviously, it might not be that. It could be pretty relaxed language. In other words, it's like, yeah, okay, Intel, you know, we know that AMD are putting out a new processor, but don't forget that we have been on top for X amount of time. I will say, in my personal experiences, and I would love to hear in the comments, and feel free to also message me on Facebook or other social media platforms, your personal feelings on this. I will say Intel have been very aggressive recently when it comes to advertising. Now, there's nothing inherently wrong with that, because obviously that's what competitors do when their other competitor is putting out a product, right? Sony did it when, you know, the Xbox One S came out. Obviously they stepped up that advertising. Microsoft did it when the PS4 Pro come out, and we could all imagine what's going to happen when the Scorpio is released. And both of them are obviously being a little bit more apprehensive now that, well, Nintendo are releasing the Switch pretty soon. So that's just the natural cycle of things. However, Intel has been very aggressive, and it's marketing a lot on Facebook. It's starting to do a lot of tie-ins with Green Man Gaming is definitely one I'm seeing a lot of. That's because I've liked them on Facebook, and there are a couple of others as well. In the UK, I have noticed a couple of e-tailers giving quite stiff discounts to Intel CPUs, and of course we discussed some other discounts that were going on yesterday, and in some cases the cuts are actually quite deep, like $80 US, for example, on some of the higher end processors. That's a lot of money. So basically, Intel are maybe not officially cutting the prices of their CPUs, but they are starting to offer either deals or short-term discounts for their processors to try to, I wouldn't say scupper the launch, but to try and mitigate the launch as much as possible. And let's be honest, let's say you've got a 6600K right now, and you know that your motherboard can flash for like a 7700K, and you can get one for like $300, you might be tempted to do it. So it's going to be quite interesting to see how all of this plays out over the next couple of months, to be totally honest with you. It's also worth noting that AMD's BIOS on release, I talked about this at length yesterday with the motherboard compatibility with various RAM speeds, so check that video out if you need to. But basically, Intel went through the same thing with Kaby Lake as well. So actually, some Kaby Lake motherboards, we were actually sent a Kaby Lake motherboard, full disclosure, but we couldn't review it properly. There was basically an issue with the board, and essentially one of the DIMM slots did not work, so we could not get dual channel memory. So we had to send it back, and now with Ryzen being released, motherboard vendors aren't really that keen to push Kaby Lake, to be totally honest. So we might review Kaby Lake, we're not 100% yet. But anyway, to cut a long story short, we were given information, as well as other members of the press, they all know about it as well, the early versions of the BIOS for Kaby Lake were notoriously bad for putting just too much power, too much voltage through the CPU, particularly if one was to utilize auto voltages. And it also wasn't that great for compatibility with DRAM as well. It's just kind of how platforms go on launch. It's like, and I know I've said this a couple of times over, but when I bought Sandy Bridge back in the day, I bought one of the first boards available, and, you know, it was great. It worked absolutely flawlessly. Unfortunately, just a little bit after launch, well, I'll say a little bit, a couple of months after launch, I got an email through telling me that, by the way, the SATA controller, one of the SATA controllers, is probably going to burn out, so you can replace your board if you want. And I could do that at like no cost. The problem is, at that point I'd already built my PC, and at the time I wasn't running RGT, but I was using it for other purposes. I was freelancing, so I couldn't just be like, okay, I'm going to rip my PC apart for a couple of days while I send it back an RMA. I just couldn't do it. So basically I just kind of bit the bullet, dealt with the fact that I knew the SATA controller was going to burn out, and a couple of years later it did. And basically I just bought a PCIe SATA controller and plugged it in, and good to go. So this is kind of the stuff you deal with when new platforms are released. It just kind of is what it is. Anyway, hopefully you've enjoyed the video. It's been a bit of a shorty today, not super technical, just because I'm currently compiling benchmarks for the motherboard for the PC review, just trying to do everything at once before Ryzen is released. So obviously there's just going to be a lot of chaos, and it's going to be a bit kind of hit and miss over the next couple of days. But even after Ryzen is released, we do have some other reviews coming up. We've got some memory reviews, and I'm working on getting some case reviews, and also some cooler reviews, and, well, just a lot of other stuff. So, hope you've enjoyed the video. I'll see you soon. Take care of yourselves. Bye for now.
Let's move.
Rise again, my gods, and unleash your power. More bones for the mines.
Struggle no more.
That way, so I win. Oh, still going this way. He has to come this way because I have boots. Okay. Oh, He's stamina drained too. Okay. Well...
Careful. You've lost a fort.
Okay, last opponent. Just me and you, bub. He has to stay here because I can res. Damage and revenge. Okay, I'm gonna go res then. Oh, nice parry. Alright, alright. Oh, he's gonna get a res while I'm knockdown.
That's a
Fucking asshole. Shit. Okay, he hit his ally with that. He's just hoping this Lawbringer kills me. I mean, that's not gonna happen. He's gonna go run and try to get some buffs. In the meantime, I'm gonna execute this Lawbringer. Yeah, how'd that plan work? No, you still gotta fight me. Plus, I got revenge again. Dead. That's what you get, boy. You think you could fight me? I don't think so. Old enough to drink with hot form. Simcopter, thank you for the 21 months in a row. Put some hype in the chat for Simcopter. Absolutely fantastic broadcaster. If you guys don't know him already, make sure to give him a follow. This guy's gonna push me off the edge. I don't want to do that. Come over here. He's gonna run away too. Fine. I get boots, so. If I walk out there against the Lawbringer, he's just gonna push me off. Seems good. Oh, I missed.
This land is beyond death.
Oh god, there's 3 of them all of a sudden. Ugh. Just trying. What's up, Simcopter? I hope you're having a good Sunday, man. We are kicking some butt in For Honor at the moment. Shit. Good counter breaks. He's gonna throw me off the edge again. This is all he wants to do. Alright, let's fight. I will totally fight you, sir. Oh god, that wasn't supposed to be what happened. Alright, whatever. No, 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 no. Oh man. I don't actually die from that, do I? Now I do. Oh! 2 of my allies died again. Oh. Having a nice weekend. I am, Sim. I am. We've been playing For Honor this week. I feel like Hearthstone's been, well, I know that Hearthstone is in one of its worst balance states it's been. Although Arena is actually one of the best. Hearthstone just is not like it's a good moment. Shigoki, how you gonna do this? You know, this would have been nice if you had come help me when I was fighting all three of them, but I guess you could try to kill all three of them yourself now. Oh, guess the knock-in. That was huge. Oh, into the fire. Plays. There's still another guy, but I don't know where the other enemy guy is right now. That was a sick play. There's the final guy. Can you do it? You might do it. He's looking pretty heroic right now. The other guy got knocked into the pit too, so he can't be rezzed. Aw, come on, bro. You got this. Don't give up. No. Yes, the parry. He's burning, though. Peacekeeper got him. Worthy attempt. Would have been a lot more helpful if you just come help me when I was fighting them, though. He wasn't fighting anyone at that point. He kind of stood there until I died, and then eventually started doing stuff. I love Hearthstone. 4,000 plus hours. 3 years later, I desire other games too. Honestly, it's not really that. Like, sure, it's nice to play some other games. I totally hear you. The numbers just don't make sense in the game right now. Like, not even close to making sense. Oh, how did he not? You lucky, sir. You should have gone off the edge there. Just gonna kill him the old-fashioned way then. He's gonna push me if I'm not careful. I mean, this kind of sucks when we waste our time on a fight like this because my whole team is dying around me while I'm trying to kill this guy. Uh-oh. Had somebody die over there. We outnumbered them for a second, now it's even. Uh-oh. I fucked that up. Wow. That was nice of him. Nope. Okay, we got a res off. Something's happening over there while I'm doing this fight right now. Oh, they got a res off. Wait, we both got a res off. This is hectic. Whoa. Ugh. Wait, I didn't die. Oh, my res. I forgot about the res. Coming again, sir. You think you've seen the last of me. But I'm back. This Warden on my team is fighting pretty hard too. Oh, I saved him. No, I'm gonna die again. Get up. Okay. Let's execute this guy. Oh, God. That skill is pretty OP. That's so funny. Yeah, this guy did a good job. He was holding that for a while there. That was a long fucking round. We were just fighting like the whole round. Getting 0 Dawn. I haven't looked at it yet, but I've heard a lot of streamers talk about it. This is a scary round. This is the last round, so... Is he gonna come to me? He is. I'll fight him, but... I don't want to walk down there and get knocked off for free. Give me a heavy. Dang. I want to get an execute here. I'm so far ahead of this fight, I should definitely execute him so that nothing happens later. Fuck, he's gonna run away though. I have boots actually, that doesn't work, does it? Why is that not an execute? Just because like he has his back turned to me, somehow it's not an execute. He's totally gonna get rezzed. Oh, never mind, they have one guy left. Good job, team. Oh my god. Almost got knocked off the edge from the recoil of my ally. 4v1 looks pretty good. Trying to stop him from getting the boots. Come on, dude. Why'd I go this way? Nice. That was a close game. Most eliminations don't get that close. It's normally much more one-sided. Yo, that auto-res, like, won the game. The auto-res into coming back into that fight was so huge. Yeah, that was a pretty good round. Red Alert 2 soundtrack. Wow, Simcopter. Yes, it is. That's pretty crazy. You can tell the difference between Red Alert 1 and 2. That's skills right there. If you lock on during the leap before it hits, it'll execute. Oh, wow. Okay, I'll have to try that sometime. Because getting an execute there would be a big deal. We get a bit of health back, we get stamina, and more importantly, he can't resurrect anymore.